I haven't looked at him yet, but I'm going to make a prediction, Dieter. He has a band T-shirt on. He's
like Metallica or
that's
Anthrax?
right, AC/DC, Anthrax. Some metal band I've never heard of, and it is what is that?
It's a clothing line called Dirtbag.
Dirtbag.
So it's close enough.
All right,
It's black.
all right. Yes.
Yeah.
What's going on, my man?
What's
How
going
are
on?
you?
Dude, look at these digs here. Haven't been here with the couch and lights.
What do you think? You like this or what?
If I would have known, I would have showered. I didn't know it was going to be on TV.
And the white socks, I like that. That's a touch.
I'm old school.
The black shoes with the dark jeans, black T-shirt, and the white socks. Now, do you see? I have black socks on. You never wear black socks?
Very rarely. I don't like wearing the black socks.
Why?
I have them once in a while. I'll throw them on. Like I bring one pair for the week.
Yeah.
When I'm doing shows, and like maybe Saturday night I'll wear them.
I can't wear white socks anymore for some reason. Yes, it freaks me. I don't know.
That's all I wear.
Sometimes I can with jeans or whatever. Today, I even have blue socks, like a dark navy blue that normally I would have worn with this and maybe some blue shoes, but I didn't have time because I'm walking that stupid dog of mine for 20 minutes every. I found a dog, and now it's just the.
Yeah, you want a dog, Jim? He's trying to get rid of it, unload it.
I got one already, yeah. But I got one of those little gay dogs, little Yorkies.
That's what I found.
Oh, you got one too?
I found this thing a month ago. Yes.
Yeah, no, you don't. Mine's a house dog. You just put pads down. It goes right in the house.
See, Rover? His dog won't go outside.
Yeah.
Won't pee outside, so Rover's trying to get rid of it.
But it won't go on these pads either. I put those pads down. Yes, I've put the pads down. It doesn't go. They even have some spray that I got that you're supposed to spray on the pad that will attract them to go there.
Yeah.
That doesn't work either. So how did you get yours?
Well, you
to
keep
start
mice.
going on?
I think you have to keep mice. I think we kept them in the bathroom at first, so they stay in there, and then you put the pads there, and they learn to go on that pad, and then you move them slowly around the place.
You got to do that.
And bigger, you lock off a lot of the rooms so they can't go in different rooms and pee.
Right. Oh yeah, because it will just sneak out and pee.
Yeah.
Like if I'm watching TV, it will just be laying there, and then just get up, won't do anything, just go pee on the carpet and come back, lay down like nothing happened.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, they definitely. But yeah, but those dogs are great because they'll stay. They don't need to get up at 6 a.m. to go to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. If you stay in bed till noon on a Saturday because you're hungover, they'll stay in bed with you or near you. They're not regular dogs like at 6 a.m. they got to pee and they're waking you up.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about the dog. So I'm not getting up early to walk a dog.
Do people? I know this is. I'm waking up half an hour earlier than I normally do to take this dog out, and it doesn't. It refuses to go outside. It will not go outside. So I don't know. I have an appointment today to get rid of this dog.
What?
4:45 today. Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Just drop it off in a neighborhood and let it go?
No. Doogie found someplace that's gonna some dog trainer or something that's gonna take it, and so I'm meeting the woman.
Train the dog, but not get rid of it.
No. I'm getting rid of it. I'm meeting the trainer. The trainer's going to find a home for it by Sunday, so the dog will be out of there by Sunday.
You're gonna
My
cry.
life will be easier.
I predict you're gonna cry.
No, it's a nice dog. It's a great
You
dog.
love this
Very,
thing.
very affectionate. It hangs out. It's come on the boat and stuff. It was great on the boat. It was a nice dog, but Jim, I can't. I don't have any kids, and I like my life to be simple and stress free. You have a dog and a kid, right?
Yeah, and a wife.
Yeah, and how's your life? Is it stress free?
No, it's all right. It's not bad.
No, come on, tell me. Be honest. Look at him smile.
No, there's
right?
a little chaos,
It's a little bit different than you were a single guy for a long time, right? Yeah, and how is it? How are things now?
There's a lot more chaos, but it's okay though. I don't mind it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I got to get up early now. Having a kid's almost like doing morning radio. It's like having a morning radio gig.
Yeah.
Before I was doing stand up almost 20 years, I would get up at like 10 or 11, whatever. And now I'm up at 7 in the morning every morning. So it's pretty much a radio gig.
Speaking of radio, I hear that you're doing something on Sirius Satellite Radio now.
Yeah, I got a gig on Ozzy's Boneyard.
What is this? Is a channel that Ozzy has?
Yeah,
called the Boneyard.
Yeah, it's a hard rock heavy metal channel.
Yeah.
Ozzy owns it, basically. It's his name on it, and him and his wife run it. Well, probably more Sharon. And, it's just, classic hard rock and metal. I do a show every Thursday, like one show a week, one shift a week.
Now, why just one shift a week? Why not do a show every day or whatever?
I don't know. Maybe there's not enough money there.
They don't pay. Do they pay anything?
Yeah, it's all right. It's little,
but
but I get to plug whatever I want, all my comedy gigs, whatever I got going on, which is perfect.
Right. And you love all that metal
I love all that stuff.
Oh, my God. This guy, he's really into that stuff.
I just saw Queensryche's playing at the House of Blues Sunday night. I'm still in town. I'm so excited.
So you're gonna go see that.
Absolutely.
I looked at them for RoverFest this year, as a matter of fact. Queensryche was one of the bands that I was looking at. We looked at, next week I'll tell, I sort of make a habit every year of telling people after we put the tickets on sale and we sell out, I tell people who we tried to get to play RoverFest, and there were some huge bands. I mean, I had offers out for $125,000 this year. Yeah, so it was Queensryche was nowhere near $125,000, but they were one of the bands that I was. Now
they got a lot of hits, like the people would know them.
Yeah.
In the audience, they got like 6 or 7 songs that everyone will pretty much know.
All I know is that Silent Lucidity song.
Yeah.
I don't know any of the. I don't know. Maybe they. Do you know any other Queensryche songs?
No.
Steve?
He was in studio, I remember, the lead singer.
Yeah, the lead singer was here, and then they performed that Silent Lucidity.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, but now there's 2 Queensryches, like there's 2 Stone Temple Pilots, all that other stuff. They're having a whole thing, so you could probably get them for half price.
Yeah, how does that even work? That some of these bands, the guy from Great White was just here, and it's the same thing. He goes, no, we're not Great White. We're Great White starring Jack Russell.
Yeah.
And I go, wait, so there's another Great White? He goes, yeah, we're involved in a naming dispute right now. So there are 2 people going
2 Queensryches, there's 2 LA Guns, there's 2 Great Whites, and now 2 Stone Temple Pilots. Well, Weiland's doing his thing, and Stone Temple Pilots got the singer from Linkin Park singing for him now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Chester.
Chester. And Weiland's doing his own thing with his solo band. So Queensryche's fighting over the name. Like, if anyone uses the name Queensryche, the 2 different versions, they have to give the other party like 40% of their cut, whatever they made that night.
Really?
Until they go to court in November over the name.
Well, if I were the Queensryche 2, I just would stop performing and make 40% of what Queensryche 1 is doing.
Yeah, I know, but both of them are going out as Queensryche, so they're both, I guess it's just evening out. They're both on tour, playing different cities, like different nights.
Yeah, I don't even know
versions.
which Queensryche. I was looking at the Queensryche with the lead singer, I guess.
You know what would have been a great RoverFest? Get both of them together and let them go on back to back.
Not tell them, right, and just have one and then the other one. That's funny. What else have you been up to?
I just did an episode of Californication.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got a role in that. I play a pimp.
That's a good show. I don't know how I started watching this. It was on TV once. You ever seen this show? David Duchovny is in this.
I don't get that channel.
What is that on? Showtime?
Yeah.
So it was on, and I've seen commercials. It's been on for years, I guess, a few years.
I think like 7 seasons.
So I've never watched it, and then maybe a few months ago, it was on, and I never start watching shows because I don't know what's going on. You have 5 seasons to catch up, but it was on, and the episode was pretty good. So the next time it was on, I watched that episode, and I've watched a lot of the season. This last season, I thought it was really good, as a matter of fact.
He plays like a sex addict, and he's just a complete creep.
Well, that's good.
Trying to sleep with everybody. He's got to produce, his friends, like a director or a producer in Hollywood, and he's doing all these dirty things.
Yeah.
It's a good show, man. Really funny dialogue, and it's just hot chicks naked all the
there's
time.
some good-looking girls on this show, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you play what now?
A pimp.
A pimp.
Yeah.
You got flashy colors on?
No,
like
he wanted me to just. He's the creator of the show's a big metalhead. He always has like these heavy metal references, and like Marilyn Manson's done the show. All these metal guys always do guest appearances. And I met with him. He's like, all right, I'm going to try to write you a role for this season. I'm like, all right. And then he calls me up because you want to play a pimp? I'm like, of course. He's like, just come in a T-shirt, just jeans and a Metallica T-shirt. That's all I want you, and just be like that. Don't play the stereotypical pimp.
So this is how you get a role on TV. You just start talking to a guy, and he writes you in. And
it's who you know.
That's right. I mean, how'd you meet this guy?
My manager knew the casting director for Californication. He says, he's a big metalhead. The guy created the show. He wants to meet you. Go to his office for a half hour when I was out in L.A., and I sat there. We just talked heavy metal the whole time. And then he goes, all right. He goes, what kind of part would you play? I go, anything. He's like, all right, let me see if I can write you in, because he was in the middle of writing a season. I got a call 2 weeks later as a role's a pimp.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I'm in.
It's
Like a
great.
speaking role?
Oh yeah. It's a whole episode. It's pretty much.
Nice.
I'm in. I bring the pimp over.
Now, do they make you audition for that or
No.
anything? No.
No
How do they know
audition.
you may get out there and suck? How do they
Well,
know?
I had clips. I did this movie with Jenna Fisher called
Yeah.
A Little Help.
Yeah.
So we sent over clips of that show, that the movie that I was in with her, and then also I just did Amy Schumer's show on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
So we had those clips in advance. My manager, he sent them over, so they saw the clips, and then that's how I got the gig.
Now, have you filmed this yet, California?
Yeah, I filmed it.
How did it go? Tell me
went
how
great.
this works.
It's-
How many days do you shoot?
4 days. It's
Okay.
brutal. You're there at 6 a.m. You work till like 5 at night, and you do the scenes like
6 a.m. to 5 at night. Some guy digging ditches right now in the rain is like, screw this guy.
Yeah,
Sitting
I know. I'm
around
not
eating
used to
catering.
No, but you have to do the scenes like 30 times in a row because they have to get it from every angle. There was a lot of people in the scene.
So then they have to change every time they change the camera position. They have to change the lighting.
change the lighting.
Yeah.
You're down for 20 minutes. You go back. Then you do that scene about like 8 or 10 more times. You shoot it like 10 more times. Then you got to shoot it again from another angle 10 more times. Another angle 10 more times. I was messing up my lines by the end. I knew them in the morning. I was sharp, but by the end, I'm like I gotta just do it in one take. But that's the way they do it.
When you screw up now here you are, you've acted in a movie before, you've acted in some stuff, so you're not a complete, but you're a novice compared to the people on the show. When you're the one that screws things up and you flub a line, are you nervous about that? Because the whole crew now, you've just wasted their entire time.
I screwed up like 3 times in a row at like 3:30 in the afternoon. I did the lines like 40 times, like I said earlier. I just couldn't remember the line. I said 3 in a row. I'm like, I'm sorry, and I'm just like, and I was like, man, I'm like, I bet you're not even gonna call me. I kept looking at my phone all night. I'm like, are they gonna fire me? Are they gonna go? Look, we're gonna move on, get somebody else.
We're
for
gonna
tomorrow."
reshoot. We're gonna digitally transfer someone's head onto your body and shoot the rest with someone else tomorrow. Sorry. So 4 days.
And these guys are professionals because they're doing it every day, so they
Right,
got it
right.
down. It's like the worst is going like there's a tape called a table read the day before. You sit there in front of the whole cast. Everybody has the scripts. All these Showtime executives are there. The producers, the directors, everybody involved in the show, and you have to read through the script to see what if there's any. Maybe they could change something. Maybe something's funny or didn't get a laugh. So I walk in there like I just got off a plane from like Columbus. I was in. Fly right to L.A., take a cab, get there like 5 minutes before the table read. Everybody's there. So I sit right next to the Coveney. Never met the guy before. Like, all right, well, let's ready. Let's read our lines. So I'm nervous. I'm like, they're like, who is this guy? Comes in a concert T-shirt, sits down. Nobody knows me. All these trained actors. But it went well. I got some good laughs with my lines in the table read. So
So when you're doing it and you're reading through and there's all these executives that are in there from Showtime or whatever, do they make comments? Do they just sit and write notes, or what do they do?
They're all writing notes, but no one makes any comments. They just go, okay, great, and then you walk away like, all right, was that good? I don't know.
Yeah.
They were laughing as soon as I started talking my voice. They all started laughing. Yeah, they all started cracking up. For some reason, they thought that was funny. So I'm like, all right, cool, good, I'm good. They're like, is that your real voice? One guy, one of like the Showtime president, he's like, are you putting this on for the role? I go, no, this is the way I talk.
You should have said yes. I'm such a great actor. I'm just doing this voice for you today. Well, when does that air? Do you have any
Probably
idea?
in the fall.
All right.
I'm thinking, yeah. And he said the pimp might come back this season because they're still writing more
You
episodes.
could get a recurring role.
Maybe,
as the
yeah.
pimp. Do they need a radio host on this show? I could perhaps play that.
Maybe.
This seems like such a... I don't know. I've said that before, that it seems like it would be easy to act, but I think it's a lot harder than people
It's tough.
think.
Just learning all those lines.
Right.
I'm not good at that. So I seriously probably listen. I put it in my my iPhone or whatever, and I listen on my headphones. I probably listen to it like 200 times to get them down.
What, just you reading it yourself?
No, just listening to it. Just listen to lines and try to talk to them as I'm listening to them, learning them.
Yeah.
Just keep listening over and over again. That's how I have to learn them. But it's not easy, man.
Because I've tried. I've told this story to someone else. I think it was who was the guy that said that acting was easy? Kevin Pollak. He said anyone can do it. Acting is easy. So I was taking a dump once, and I was reading a magazine. I go, let me just remember this paragraph and recite the. It was only like 4 or 5 sentences. oh my God, that was a lot harder to than and you'll kind of get the gist of the paragraph, but then you can screw up a few words, and I'm assuming that they want you to be spot on.
Pretty much. You gotta if you have a photographic memory, you're great. It's perfect for you. That's easy to do. But the thing with acting, I always say, is you got to learn the lines. You got to have them. You could down pat, so then you can act in that moment, whatever you got to do. Like if you're fighting with your wife, you can't be thinking about the lines as you're fighting with her. You have to listen to what's going on and know your stuff. So that's another thing. When every time I was screwing up, I was definitely out of the scene because I'm just trying to think of my lines. I couldn't remember that next one coming up.
Right, and they probably zoom in and you see Jim's face. He's like nervously searching for that line, in the middle of this dramatic scene.
Everybody wants to get home. The LA traffic, it's like 3:30. And this friggin' idiot is like, why is he here? But I apologized after to one of the actresses. She's like, don't ever apologize. We all screw up. And they started screwing up later, so I was okay. I was praying that people fucked up their...
Oh, that's all right. That's why we have a dump button in here for Jim Florentine.
Once in a while, I'm a rebel.
Well, he's used to all that serious stuff.
I'm getting revved up for RoverFest, so that's why.
Right. You have to get your F-bombs out there.
Yeah.
Now, how difficult is it to do RoverFest? To go out there and do a set you've done... I don't know. What do you do? 10, 15 minutes? Probably 10 minutes or something a set?
Yeah, 10, 15, yeah.
Is that difficult? I've talked to other people who say that they don't envy you going out there in front of 15,000 drunk people.
I like to torture myself. I'm going to have good prep for this because I just got booked on this whole tour, Gigantour it's called, this Megadeth tour. Mm-hmm. This festival that goes out. I'm doing that the whole month of July, except for like 10 days in the middle. So I'm doing.
So you're going to be doing what on that? You're going to do.
I'm the host and MC of the tour. Okay. There's 5 bands. So I'm on tour for pretty much the month of July, but I'm coming in to do RoverFest. So I'm already going to be in front of a bunch of animals for 3 weeks before. So I'm gonna have my set down. It's gonna be perfect. I'm gonna know exactly what works. It's basically gonna be the same set I'm gonna do for RoverFest. I'll figure it out.
Right.
A lot of quick one-liners, drinking, sex, drug jokes usually work.
What makes it
angry male jokes?
What makes it harder to do comedy? I mean, do you ever blow it one night? I mean, what makes your job hard? Is it being hung? Oh, you probably don't even drink that much when you're on the road.
No, but being tired up there, forgetting where you are. No, I'm just a crowd. Sometimes the crowds aren't into it, and if you're an edgy comic and you perform in front of a conservative crowd, it definitely could be a problem.
Like the Amish people on the boat that were at RoverFest.
That, or just a regular crowd in general that doesn't really, get like that aggressive humor.
Is it weird? It seems to me that comedy clubs, it's almost like the comedians are a replaceable commodity, that people just go to a comedy club. I don't know the percentage. I mean, obviously some people come out to see Jim Florentine or whoever the comedian is. Oftentimes it seems that they just, hey, we're going to go to whatever, we're going to Ha-Ha's tonight or whatever, or in Jim's case, the Improv this weekend. And it's just, they don't even know who's playing oftentimes. Does that make it more difficult?
Absolutely. That's when you know you're a good comic, when you can perform in front of a crowd that doesn't know who you are and get laughs. And that, coming up in the comedy world, that's what you have to do. But once you start getting people to come to see you, it makes it a lot easier for the comic. Yeah. There's still pressure for you to perform, but, because they're coming to see you, you better be good. But at least your people know your humor. At the Improv this week, I'll probably have 75% of people will know who I am.
Yeah.
There'll be 25% that will just come in on a Saturday or a Friday, or let's go to a Sunday comedy show. I'm hoping to do research. All you got to do, that's just a weird thing. Like a bachelorette party will come into one of my shows and then leave halfway through. Like, he was offensive. he made fun of us, and we don't like this kind of stuff. It's like when you go to a movie, do you just walk in? You don't even know what it's about.
Right.
Do you just go see a movie and walk in and go, halfway through, I don't like horror films. What am I doing here?
Yeah.
Well, didn't you look it up? But they don't do that with comedy.
No.
And people get offended. They want their money back. He was offensive. He said the C word or whatever.
Don't you always? I always assume that if I'm going to see comedy, that you could hear the C word or whatever.
Well, yeah, because you get it. No, most people don't. If they find something offensive, they'll go complain, and usually what happens is the club owner or the manager goes, "Look, that was a customer we lost. You can't be doing that." I'm like, "So you don't stick up for the comedian?" I go, "How am I supposed to know their sense of humor? Am I supposed to go table to table before the show?"
What's the most number of people that you've ever had request a refund at one of your shows?
Probably like 60.
60 people?
Yeah.
60 people?
Yeah, they're walking out in droves. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, what were you doing, man? Where was this?
This was in Dayton, Ohio, actually, at the Funny Bone there.
And what made 60 people walk out and say, I want a refund?
There was a woman in the front that was, it was her first time at a comedy show. I think she was one of the waitresses' moms, and they put her right in the front, her and a friend, and they were hammered right in the front table, right against the stage. And I wasn't watching the show, and the MC in the feature had to deal with her heckling the whole time. So when I got up there, and I found that it was like, I didn't know it was her birthday, so the whole crowd clapped when she said, I'm celebrating my birthday. So they were all like, oh, okay, it's, even though she's a pain, it's a birthday. So when I got up there, a minute in, she starts in, and I just destroyed her. I just said, look, you got to stop, seriously, whatever. She just kept yelling. So finally, about 10 minutes in the show, I go, all right, this is what you're going to do. I'm not going to have you thrown out, but you have to go into the back of the room. Go all the way to the back table because you're a distraction. She's like, no. I go, no, seriously, get in the back. I'm not getting you thrown out, but go. And I made her, and then the bouncer comes over. I go, seriously, put him in the back. I go, I feel like the substitute teacher here. I'm not dealing with your nonsense. And the whole crowd's like, oh. And she's walking up. She goes, it's my birthday. I go, yeah, too bad. We'll celebrate your birthday up there. And the whole crowd turned on me. They were like, and some girl goes, that's so mean. It's her birthday. I go, oh, so now I'm the bad guy. Yeah. She's ruining the whole show talking. I'm the bad guy. And they just wanted nothing, and I had to do another 40 minutes.
Oh, man.
It was brutal. It was probably the worst set I've ever had in my life. And I didn't know people were leaving because it was dark, but then afterwards, the manager's like, look, I had close to 60 people walk out. They wanted their money back.
And what does he want from you? Does he want to pay you less or
No,
anything?
he just said, look, you got to do something. You're here the rest of the weekend. I go, look, why did you put that woman in the front?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, yeah, I guess they shouldn't have. Saturday was her first comedy show. I go, of course. You don't put a woman that's never been to a comedy show before.
Now, so you have a horrible set. Then can you recover from that? When was the next one? You have another one that night or the next day?
No, the 2 Saturday and then 1 Sunday. I readjusted my act to make it more friendly over the weekend just so there wasn't any problems. Yeah, it was rough.
That's so funny.
But like a guy like Anthony Jeselnik, I don't know if you see his show on Comedy Central. He's he does the Comedy Central roast.
Yeah.
His show, you got to see his show. It's like the Tonight Show, but the darkest humor ever. Like his monologue is the most brutal jokes. Whatever, and it's a great show, and I love it. He said that, him, before he got famous, people knew who he was. He'd walk like half the room, and he'd get fired. They would send him home because his jokes, every joke is brutal. He does like one-liners that are the rape, AIDS, or whatever, cancer, and people didn't know. Now he's huge, and they love him. They expect every joke to be really edgy,
right.
But he had a tough time coming up going like improvs and funny bones because people would walk.
So his show's on every night on.
It's on like it's on I don't know, like Tuesday nights or something like that. But
right.
it's a
So
really
once a
funny
week
show.
it's on,
but now he's known as that comic now. But before he would tell me, man, he goes, I'd walk 100 people a night easily.
Who do you think is the best guy out there in comedy right now, besides yourself, of course? Jim Florentine is here with us. He'll be at the Improv tonight and all this weekend.
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr.
Yeah,
he's the best guy out there right now.
Well, him and Louis C.K. I would say.
Yeah. Is Bill Burr might actually be here.
He is. He's there Friday night.
Oh, you're just saying that because Bill Burr is here, this weekend.
No,
you're like, let me stroke Bill Burr in case he's, gets wind of it.
Yeah, I'm friends with him already. I'm going to hang out with him Friday. But yeah, he's doing the.
What is it, Doogie? What's that?
This is the guy that was, we came in with him once at the old station. He was kind of a douche. And so you're like, F that guy. We're not going to bring him back.
Oh, it was like a 10-minute interview.
I don't recall this guy.
This.
Let me see.
The old
he
station.
was tired, or just, you would ask him a question and he would give one-word answers.
Like red hair?
Yeah, he just wasn't very friendly. And so we're like, we're not going to waste our time with this ass.
I don't remember this guy.
Yeah.
I had someone email me who said that it's his favorite comic and that I should have him on this week, but we turned him down, huh?
But I mean, it's if you want to unban him, you can. We tried, and he really just gave us nothing. He was like too cool for the room.
Now, he might have just woke up cranky. He's cranky like I am.
Yeah.
So he could definitely, who knows what happened. No, he's great on radio too. He does his own podcast, which is huge, and he does a lot of radio, and he's really good. But yeah, he might have been in a bad mood.
Should we unban Bill Burr and have him come in, and then if he sucks, we'll just Jim Florentine will be canceled at RoverFest.
I could vouch for Bill Burr.
I've seen him at other shows, like, because I've been interns on other shows, like even the real cheesy ones.
Yeah.
He was great on even the cheesiest shows of all time that I was on, and he was great. So I don't understand why
I don't know who it was.
Banning.
Somebody else came in and said that he was going through some weird time in his life at that point in time, like literally like that week. So that might have been why he was just not interested in interacting at all.
Wasn't he a big Opie and Anthony guy too?
big time.
And we were in a big Opie and Anthony, like, weird transition So I don't know.
have no idea.
We didn't know if that's what he was. We didn't know, and we tried, and he just was off air, on air. So we can unban him if you want.
So it was 10 minutes. He was in and out.
It was not. Yeah, Dina remembers.
Oh, it was quick. One of the quickest ones.
It just
Him and that Josh Blue guy.
Oh my God! You got to be kidding me.
Well, I saw
Why?
your whole thing with what's his name, the black comic that went down that tension.
Tommy Davidson.
Oh, Tommy Davidson. Yeah.
Joe Howard told me about that. He goes, "You got to see what happened with Rover. It's on YouTube or whatever." And I looked, I was like, "Oh man,
This guy just
was
flipped
great.
out, man. It was really
know.
bizarre. He got very. I don't. Why did he even get so angry?
You asked about cocaine.
Yeah, I mean he
It was in the news. Somebody
it's
said
been in the news, and I asked him about cocaine. Someone also spotted him going into a porno store. I think that was the first thing. Someone
Yes.
called in and they said that they saw him at a porno store downtown.
who goes to a porno store anymore?"
You're right. I mean, you have the internet, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't like that for some reason. And the limo driver who was here, I was looking at him. He was nodding that yes, he did. He was in the porno store. So I knew that he was in the porno store. And he was for some reason he was offended by that. And then at the end he kept saying that I was doing all the cocaine stuff and that I was, and it was just a question about cocaine. It wasn't like I was harping on it, but that I was just trying to rile him up. He knew the game I was trying to play or something like that. And it was actually, I was like, no, I was just curious about it. I've never done cocaine myself. I'm curious about this kind of stuff. And then he stood up and he left.
He left.
And as he was leaving, what happened?
if we were back in high school, I'd knock you out. That's what he said to Rover.
If we were back in high school, I would knock you out, is what he told me. And then he closed the door. And then so I get up and I'm like yelling at him and we're yelling at each other in the hallway. And then it didn't go to blows, but that would have been good. He's like 5 feet tall. I would have whooped his ass. I'm a real pussy, and I would have kicked his ass. So I don't know. Weird guy.
Well, then he started yelling that douchey's a bitch and a C word, didn't he?
I think he did. Yes. He called her a "see you next Tuesday."
Saying
again.
something to you is one thing, but when you're just screaming at douchey, that's a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know what that guy's issue was, but crackhead, I guess. I don't know. Who's the worst? Not the worst comic, but. Who's just the biggest dick out there right now? Like Tommy Davidson was. Is there a
I don't
guy
know.
that's
I
just
don't
a
really
dick?
hear. I don't really hear anything about anyone being a dick.
You like Dane Cook?
Yeah,
You do.
yeah. Dane's a good guy. He gets a lot of crap, because he basically was the number one guy for a while. So
Right.
it's just like Larry the Cable Guy was the number one guy, right, for a while, and then all of a sudden Dane came along. Larry actually said, "I'm happy that Dane's, the number one guy now because everyone's not picking on me anymore," which is ridiculous. And then they all picked on. And the thing with Dane, the in a nutshell, is he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
So women found him funny. So that made the boyfriends and the husbands jealous. Because the women go, "Oh, we're going to go see Dane Cook. Oh, he's so funny." Because then the guys were like, "I'm funnier than that guy because he was good." And they would go, "Yeah, he's hot." And the girl would go, "Yeah." And these guys are listening to this and go, "I'm funny. I'm way funnier than that guy." So all of a sudden, he was the worst comic ever because they were jealous.
It's much better if you're going to be a comedian. Look like me, and you'll get further in life.
Definitely, and it also happens with the female comics too. There's a good-looking comic on stage, and then the girl gets jealous of her in the audience.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that are kind of
Amy
cute.
Schumer's,
Yeah.
Cute. There's a new one, Nikki Glazer, who's does a show on MTV. There's a lot of cute ones coming up.
Whitney Cummings.
Whitney Cummings, yeah. So they always dress down the female comics because if you go up there looking hot, all the girls in the audience are just ripping you apart, just tearing you down.
How are these girls? I haven't actually seen
They're
them
good.
do stand up. Are
They're
they
good.
good?
Yeah, absolutely. They're a lot real edgy now, like Sarah Silverman type.
Yeah.
They take that model, but they're good. But the problem is they don't do well a lot of times because you got jealous women in the audience. Because when they go, "I like anal," and the boyfriend's like, "Yeah," or the husband, "Yeah," and they're laughing at that, that makes the wife or the girlfriend jealous. And then all of a sudden they think, "Oh, now he wants to have sex with her." "Oh yeah, of course." They're like saying, "Yeah, he brought it up the other day." There's all this crap going on at the table,
Right.
And they're not focusing on the stage.
How's the family life treating you now?
Family's good, yeah. It's
How old's the kid?
3.
3.
Well, he'll be 3 in August, yeah.
You just celebrated your anniversary, or about to celebrate an anniversary, right?
Yeah, I'll be on a tour bus.
Oh yeah,
for
that's
the
romantic.
anniversary.
Yeah, perfect. Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, it's only we'll have plenty more unless you plan on leaving me. What's the big deal?
That's why you weren't at RoverFest last year, I think, right? You
yeah,
were
I
getting
got married
married
on that. Yeah, I got married on July 15th.
Yeah.
This was, I think, the day before.
Right.
I was trying to get there on the 14th, to do RoverFest.
Yeah, he was still even trying. He's getting married the next day, and he's like, I may be able to show up.
Yeah,
We're
I can
like,
do both.
you're getting married less than 24 hours after RoverFest, and I think I can make it.
Yeah, I was just nervous. I said, what if my plane's delayed or gets canceled on that Sunday morning because I was getting married that Sunday?
Right.
Because Friday, you do that stupid
Well, how do you even
rehearsal
tell
dinner.
your wife I'm going to be gone the day before our wedding? I mean, that doesn't. You think you could have made that fly with her?
I was working on it, but then I just stopped halfway through. I was like, all right, forget it. I'm not gonna.
So how's the first year of marriage been?
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Her parents live with us though.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, because their house got destroyed in the hurricane.
Oh, and Hurricane
Yeah.
Sandy?
Yeah, they live on the Jersey Shore, so they've been with us since like Halloween, so whatever the storm was. They'll be there for like another month. So I like it because they're built-in babysitters.
Right.
Babysitters are $15 an hour in Jersey, saving me a lot of money.
Doesn't it sort of get in the way of your sex life and stuff, though?
I don't care.
You still do it with them?
Do it right there in front of the
we
parents.
did it the other night, and we thought the mother was sleeping because they're in a room like next to us, and it was like 10:30. Usually go to bed at like 9:30 or whatever. So the next morning, the father said to my wife when he got up, he goes, "Are you okay?" He's like, yeah. He goes, because Mom heard you crying last night. Are you and Jim having problems? And she's like, nah, we're just having a discussion. She was all embarrassed. She was like, I think my mom heard us. Because
I
I
thought
was
that
telling
she
her
was
to be
crying.
quiet. Yeah, I thought she was crying. I'm like, well, she usually is after my performance. Yeah.
That's great.
Mom heard you crying. Is everything okay between you guys?
Jim Florentine is going to be at the Improv tonight at 7:30. Tomorrow night, 7:30 and 10:15. Saturday, 7 and 9. And Sunday at 7 o'clock. That's at 1148 Main Avenue, West Bank of the Flats, over there next to Shooters, as a matter of fact. JimFlorentine.com is his website address. Are you able to stick around? I have the Thursday hookup. I haven't seen the girl, but she's getting ready
she's
to come
hot.
in here for the. Is she?
Really hot.
For our dating thing. You've been on the Thursday hookup before. right?
Yeah. I got nowhere to go.
Are you able to stick around?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Let me take a quick break. Jim will stay here. He'll be here for RoverFest too in about a month, a little over a month and a half, on Saturday, July 27th. He'll be emceeing and doing the set over there. Which I always like your first RoverFest set. That was your gold standard of RoverFest sets.
That was, people were covering their ears coming off the boat. But then the second one is when I did all the LeBron jokes when LeBron just left.
Yeah.
And the place was just chanting the jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good one, too.
He will be there.
I'm going to have to do that, whatever that thing that went down with the kids getting kidnapped. I think that'll be my set
Oh,
this
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Castro?
Yeah, will that work? That will work?
Sure.
Yeah, it's still
Lots
fresh.
of humor in that. Yeah.
I'll find it somehow.
It was funny because we were dumb one time, ambushed a newscaster. He took off his clothes and was dancing around in a blizzard. This is when he was a super fat guy, and it became like a clip that's played all over. And Anderson Cooper on CNN plays this clip all the time on his show. And Anderson Cooper's been on our show, and we said, this is the guy. He's like, oh, my God, I love the naked fat guy. It's one of my favorite clips of all time. So Anderson Cooper was here like the night or the next night after the story broke. He's broadcasting live, and I call up Dumb. I go, listen, dude, why don't you take off just go down there, get behind him, take off all your clothes, start dancing around. We'll ambush him. And then he ended up not doing it because he thought that there were people there that might have ripped him limb from limb because, that whole neighborhood was so
It's a
emotional.
Very tight knit community over there, and it was a lot of anger.
A lot of Puerto Ricans would have been, ripping you limb from limb, basically.
Yes, yeah.
And Anderson's boyfriend might have got mad. There's a naked guy behind them.
I think Anderson has a little crush on me. I
You
think he
think
does.
so?
He
Really?
remembered my full name. I remember I don't know why he would know my last name. Why would he know that? It's weird to me. I don't know.
So he told Anderson.
This is just my opinion, though.
Afterwards, he went up to Anderson Cooper and he goes, "Yeah, I was going to ambush." He goes, "Do you know who I am?" And he's like, "No." And Dumb's like, "A naked fat guy in the blizzard." And he's like, "Sean Street, yes, I know you." So, I guess he knew. Dom.
No, yeah. Look, he could have saw him. He saw him naked a bunch. It's his favorite clip. I'm sure he goes home, puts it on his laptop, and he's done a Google search.
Giggles like that. That's the Anderson Cooper giggle.
He knows everything about you.
Every crease in your
Every nook
skin,
and
every stretch mark, he's cranked it to.
He's got a whole map of me.
If he becomes the producer of the Anderson Cooper show, we know what went down. We know what went down.